Hey guys, welcome back to another Merly on Time watch reviews. Today it's going to be maybe a bit of a heated discussion in the comment section below. I'm not sure, but in this video I'm going to give you 5 reasons why Casio is not God tier. Let's go. Okay guys, so just a few caveats before we get into the video. I have my trusty laptop here because I did take some notes. So I'm going to be looking down a little bit. And so if I'm doing that, I apologize. I just want to make sure I say what I want it to say. I'm going to be kind of posting throughout this video as an overlay some of the Casio watches that I do own. So caveat number 2 is I don't dislike Casio. I like Casio watches. I think they're great watches. This isn't a hatred of Casio on their brand or anything like that. Third caveat, these are just my own opinions, and so, I love to dialogue in the comments below, but make sure you keep the comments civil and whatnot. And third or fourth caveat is I recognize that some of the reasons that I share for why I think Casio is not God tier might be some of the very reasons why you think that they are. So reason number 1, here we go. They're cheap. They're cheap. And I don't mean just monetarily. They're materially cheap for the most part. They are not expensive watches, and they are not what you would call great watches as far as material is concerned. The vast majority are made of resin, like these ones here that I have. The ones that are stainless steel, like this one that I just got, and I'll be talking about it soon, aren't any better than any other entry-level brand that does the same. Just because you love Casio as a brand doesn't excuse the blindness to some of the reality that they are just cheap watches. And I get that's why some of you think they're God tier, because they're cheap, they're inexpensive, you can get them easily. Nothing wrong with being a cheap watch, because I love affordable watches, and that's what I talk about most of the time on this channel. But to ascribe God tier to such cheapness, to me, just doesn't make sense. Okay, so that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is they're all over the place. They're so easily accessible. And again, this could be a reason why they're God tier. But in my opinion, a God tier watch should be something that is a little more difficult, takes a lot more effort to attain. Just about anyone on earth can pick up a Casio watch if they are gainfully employed. It takes nothing really to get one. And while others may attribute this to, the God tier status of the brand, it doesn't make sense for me. It just means a bunch more people can be wearing a cheap watch, seeing a Rolex on an average person's wrist, or another high-end brand. Now, that's God tier if there is such a thing, in my opinion. It's a rarity, and when you see it on someone's wrist, you want to talk to them and learn about their watch and learn how they acquired the watch and the time it took for them to save for the watch. When's the last time you said to somebody wearing a Casio, "That's a nice-looking watch. Did you get that at Walmart?" Okay, so there's so many out there, and they're easy to attain. That's why I don't think they're God tier. Reason number 3, the brand is bland. And I apologize if you hear some noise upstairs. My family's home. My dog's running around now. So the brand is bland. While you may be able to spot a Casio on anyone's wrist because of their distinctive look, I simply find the designs of a lot of them just plain, rather unappealing for the most part. They are, for the most part, very simple watches, digital or analog, but mostly digital. And their design cues as such don't scream out to me, this is something that I have to have on my wrist. And while they are great beater watches, you don't really have to worry about banging them around or getting them scratched up because they are so cheap and easy to replace. I think a God tier watch should be something that you take special care of, that you're mindful of when you're wearing it on your wrist, that you don't really want to bang up because of the quality of the watch. which, let's just be honest, Casio is a great beater watch. I just don't see it calling it God tier. The other point that I have, number 4, this is where it's going to get a little bit controversial, but I find G-Shock watches to be shocking. They just don't have a huge appeal to me. Now, this Casio watch that I have, I absolutely love. It looks like a G-Shock. It is not a G-Shock. It's a third of the price of a G-Shock, and it's essentially without the G-Shock, technology that some rave about. It's virtually the same as a G-Shock watch. I honestly would equate the release of the Moonswatch and the Omega collaboration that a lot of people lost their minds over to be something similar to G-Shocks. All they are is glorified plastic watches for the most part, in my opinion. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of comments about that, but that's the reality of it. I don't find a lot of G-Shocks overly appealing. I think they're pricey for what they are, just like the Moonswatch was. It's not even bioceramic Casio. So come on. And number 5, I just want to ask the question, why has this brand been given God tier status? I don't understand why. Seriously, I just mentioned that can you really call Casio God tier over brands such as Omega, Rolex, Patek Philippe, Breitling, watches that people save up for to buy, that when they get them, they cherish them. I just don't see that as, falling in line with them, Casio falling in line with them. These brands take time to achieve, hard-earned money to achieve. So I suppose if you want to say Casio is the God tier of cheap watches, you might have an argument there. But I would also argue that on AliExpress, you can pick up many watches like this one that I just picked up during the Christmas time sale on Boxing Day. This is an Addy's Dive Turtle that I'll be looking at shortly on the channel. This is a watch that cost me 76 Canadian dollars, or about 56 US dollars. And for just a little more money and for less than a lot of G-Shocks, you can get a solid watch like this. And I mean solid, well-made, not cheap in price, or cheap in price, but not cheap in material, I should say, which I would take hands down over any Casio out there. So with all that said, guys, like I said, I'm not hating on the brand Casio. Another caveat, Timex is my brand. I love me a good Timex. And I like Casio watches too. As I mentioned, I've got one on my wrist. This is the one that I just recently bought for Christmas. And this is the MTP 4500. More or less a bit of a Breitling homage, sort of, but definitely like a Seiko Flightmaster alternative. And this one cost me about 100 Canadian dollars. I like the watch, so this is not about hating on Casio. It's just I don't think they're God tier. Honestly, the hashtag God tier for Casio has to stop. Just my opinion. So guys, let me know your opinion in the comments below. Would love to hear your feedback on this. Be respectful, please. I'll just delete comments that are idiotic. And so really do want to hear from you. Why do you think Casio is God tier? Or do you think, like me, that they're great watches, but don't call them God tier? I would love to hear your comments below. If you've watched till the end, thank you for doing that. Please like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps everything out. I really appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up. And remember, whenever you leave your house, you have to have a great looking piece to wear on your wrist, like some of the Casios that I have highlighted on this video. Not God tier, but they're good watches. And remember, wherever you're going, you need to get there on time. God bless, guys. See you in the next video.